In 2001, the L.E.M Lab was founded, a private histology and cytology lab located in Kiryat Weitzman of the Nefziona Science Park. Under the supervision and with the certification of the Ministry of Health, the lab was inspected and authorized and operates in accordance with the stringent ISO 9001 standard and was inspected for internal and external quality by CAP. L.E.M has earned a reputation among all our referring entities for providing reliable and dedicated service in any situation and at any time.
הייחודיות של המעבדה היא למעשה בשירות שאנחנו מסוגלים לתת לאותו לקוח.
Special client communications and data management software enables us to efficiently document, track, and access medical information for doctors. The L.E.M Lab has 4 main units. The pathology unit. Histology samples from a variety of sources are sent by a special courier service and are sorted and collated according to source. Each sample is given a barcode, an in-house serial number for L.E.M Lab use. After the barcode is assigned, the samples are macroscopically classified by certified doctors according to size, color, shape, and number of slices. Then the tissue is placed in a cassette. The tissue samples in the numbered cassettes undergo processing and fixation in the HistoConnect, one of the most advanced devices in the field of histology. The blocks are sent to the cutting station and cut with a microtome. The microtome is able to make extremely fine slices in a variety of thicknesses. At this station, the lab technician performs the primary processing of the sample, then secondary processing and fixation in a paraffin block using advanced apparatus. At this point, a thin slice of the sample is affixed to a slide. The slides undergo H&E staining by a robotic staining device, untouched by human hands. The stained slides are covered by a sophisticated robotic covering machine, and the slide is microscopically scanned under the supervision of the pathologist conducting the diagnosis.
Whenever there is something in between which we don't know, like a metastasis from something, we do a concilium and a few pathologists examine the things and come to a conclusion.
In cases where the H&E staining is insufficient for the pathologist to make a conclusive diagnosis or to determine the source of the tumor, immunohistochemical staining is used. The signed pathologic diagnosis is sent to the referring entity and to the patient's doctor by the most convenient means: fax, email, or post. The lab features a well-stocked and up-to-date library for the pathologist's use and maintains constant contact with leading pathologists the world over. The PAP unit. The L.E.M Lab performs PAP tests for early detection of cervical cancer. Besides performing regular PAP tests, the L.E.M Lab also does thin-prep PAP testing. Cervical surface samples from various sources are sorted and collated according to source. The sample is given a barcode with an internal laboratory serial number. Once the patient's details are input into the system, the PAP smears are placed in the staining machine. The stained samples are then placed in the robotic covering machine, untouched by human hands, then placed in an evaporator to dry. Now the samples are ready for testing by screeners and doctors and examined through a sophisticated microscope. HPV. The L.E.M Lab uses cutting-edge DNA chip testing to detect the human papillomavirus, HPV. This method is extremely accurate, with highly reliable results. HPV testing allows for early detection and classification of 24 strains of the papillomavirus, including 18 hostile strains that can cause cervical cancer. The virus is scanned by one of the most advanced systems in the field. Cooperation and collaborative research with biotechnology and startup companies. The L.E.M Labs provide outsourcing services to startup and high-tech companies, universities, and the pharmaceutical industry. The laboratory works in close collaboration with major companies in the field, including Teva. Among our clients are the Clalit Health Service, the Defense Ministry, the IDF, Asuta Hospitals, and other major organizations, as well as hundreds of health clinics and private physicians throughout the country. The lab also works with major insurance companies such as Harel Shiloah, Phoenix, Migdal, Menorah, Klal, and more. Every stage of lab work, both medical and administrational, is supervised by our experienced staff. Only we can provide the reliability, professionalism, state-of-the-art technology, courteous customer service, availability, and accessibility so important in our field. L.E.M, your private laboratory.